All right, you're welcome back. And apologies, we were supposed to speak with the Chief Press Secretary of Benue State, but at about this point, we are speaking with the Honorable Commissioner of Information of Benue State, another person that's Honorable Matthew Abo, and he's going to be joining us briefly once we try as much as possible to stabilize the communication barrier. And speaking about this, the protest that went on, it's a very serious issue that the youths are tired. So many youths out there have come out in their mass saying enough is enough when it comes to the killings and what individuals are describing as a genocide in Benue State, because for that woman that died with the kids that died in Benue State, it's just unfortunate. Being burnt alive in that state, it's just unfortunate. That is what we saw. And of course, we mentioned at the beginning of the program that there was a footage going around of so many skulls of children, of women, bones that were burnt in the massacre that happened in Benue State. And of course, I hope the Commissioner of Information will have a lot of information for us this morning, right, Ramsey?
Well, he is the Commissioner of Information, and of course, he has also had his own share of the incidents in Benue State, so he will be speaking to us about that. But then, if you watch that protest very well, like the video we're just watching, and the video is still on, the video has some persons saying what they really wanted. And so unfortunate that some persons were arrested as a result of that protest. It's part of the questions we would have loved to ask the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor of Benue State, but then the Commissioner should be able to speak until the Chief Press Secretary joins us. And like Senator Abamolu said, if we have helicopters and of course armored tanks and all of that, all right, let's get to talk with the Commissioner.
Good morning, sir. Honorable Commissioner. Good morning. It's great to have you on Global Morning.
Thank you very much.
Honorable, can you just enlighten us on the issues? Of course, we know there's so many issues ongoing in Benue State right now with the killings that happened over the weekend and, of course, the protests. Can you enlighten us on the situation of things at the moment?
Yeah, thank you very much. You are all aware that we have security challenges in Benue State. It's a known fact that we have security challenges in Benue State. And in recent times, this insecurity is growing. Despite the efforts of the governor of the state trying to curb this situation, it is still going ahead. I want to say that the governor of the state is doing everything possible to ensure that the lives and property of the citizens are protected. And currently, as you are all aware, there was this massive killing in Yelewota Guma local government. According to reports we get, there were 59 casualties. And the governor is not sleeping at all. We as a government are not happy about what is going on. We cannot play a blame game over this issue. It is an issue that is affecting everybody in the state. We have people in Benue State as a government that are supposed to take care of this issue. The governor is providing every necessary support to the security personnel in the state, which will enable them to do their job diligently. And they are also trying. But the issue of insecurity is not a one-man affair. It is something that everybody is involved. And so at this moment, yesterday there was a protest by the youth of the state. We feel that protest was actually in order since it was a peaceful protest. As a government, we agree with them because lives were gone. And so we are sending a message to the government to act fast so that we put an end to this. As a government of Benue State, the governor has the responsibility of providing the necessary logistics to the security personnel so that they will be able to work. Now, the security architecture in Benue State has to do what they are supposed to do, because the governor has provided a level playing ground for them to work. Now, I will ask, is it that the personnel are not enough? And if the personnel are not enough, they are supposed to report that to the governor, and then the governor will take it further to the president, so that more security will be deployed to the states, so that this issue will be put to rest. And so we are waiting for them to do that. The governor is ever willing to do everything possible so that the Benue people will live in peace. You know, Benue State is an agrarian state, the food basket of the nation. And gradually the food basket is depleting. It is worrisome. It is something that every Nigerian should turn his or her eyes towards this, so that we will maintain this food basket status of the state. Otherwise, this situation will affect every Nigerian. It is not only about Benue State, it's about the whole country at large. And so, at this moment, I want to call on the higher authorities, from the president down to the last person, to at least give us the support. The president has been trying so much to make sure that military personnel, police, and all that are deployed to the state. But I feel that more should be done in order to bring an end to the banditry activities in the state. It is worrisome because farm produce are no longer there. Lives are going. Everything is being destroyed in the state as a result of the activities of these bandits. I wouldn't like to call them Fulani headsmen, but actually Fulani herders too are playing their own parts together with the bandits. And so it is worrisome. It calls for the total overhauling of the system so that this issue will be put to rest. Yesterday, as I earlier said, there was a peaceful protest. I consider that as a wake-up call to the federal government to do more so that this issue will be put to rest. We have suffered so much in the state. Everybody is aware. Many of the local governments are affected by these banditry activities. Or the whole of Sankra axis is engulfed in this. If you go to Zone C, Agatu, Apa, Otupo, and the rest of them, Where West, Makudi, Guma, all of these places. And so this is hampering the affairs, the activities of the state. Even the governor himself is being distracted so much about these activities. And so we are calling on everybody to put hands on deck to make sure that this issue is put to rest. Thank you very much.
What you've said, we've heard all that you have said.
Hello?
But before now, the distinguished Senator Abamoro was here on the program, and he said something very vital. He said the governor, who no other person than Governor Heighten earlier, at the moment, it looks as if he's just folding his arms and working all by himself when it comes to the issue of this menace in Benue State. And he feels like everyone is just, in his own words, on their own, from the security to agencies to the government and all of that in combined. How true is this statement?
Well, I wouldn't want to say that he is lying because he is entitled to his own views. But according to what I know, the governor is not folding his arms about insecurity in Benue State. You see, the governor has collaborated with all the security agencies at the federal level. Recently, the chief of army staff was in the state. What has brought him to Benue State? It is by the invitation of the governor. And in the time past, all the security heads at the federal level have visited Benue State by the efforts of Governor Heighten Mamalia. And so for somebody to now say that he is folding his arms, is not doing anything, it's a blatant lie. I wouldn't agree with that. I think
With
politics is
the
playing
killings
its
that
way
happened in
into this
Yalwata
issue.
local government area, it shows that a lot of individuals that were burnt alive, including women and children, the massacre that is ongoing, it's unbearable. Individuals are being thrown out of their homes. You know, it's also unfortunate. This is the state of Benue, and it looks as if this is what it is when it comes to trying to curb this menace that is ongoing in Benue State. At first, we thought it was just something that we can just sweep under the rug and it will pass. But now, as if it has gone out of our hands with the looks of things, sir. How true is this?
I earlier said that there was killing in Yelwata in Guma local government. But it is not so alarming as people are claiming. Because I am saying that there is a lot of propaganda about this. To be candid
State that
about
are
it, we
unaccounted
are
for, or the ones that are accounted for,
sympathizing.
sir?
Hello?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me,
Hello?
Honorable Commissioner?
Yes, I can hear you.
If you say, I heard you saying it is not as people are saying it is. Can you give us the figure of the number of lives that were lost in that incident? As a commissioner of information.
Yes, according to the report we got from the police, and even the governor himself reported that the casualties there were 59 people killed. And so all this propaganda on social media are not true information. You are expected to get the information as I'm speaking to you.
What does it mean to lose 59 lives, even though the reports that we had more than 59? I think we had over 100. But now, what does it mean to lose 59 lives under the corridor of power? Because where this incident happened, that area, Yelwata, is not very far from the city center, the Makodi, the seat of power.
Yes, it is so sympathetic. To lose 59 lives is very sympathetic. And that we as a government have sympathized with those people that lost their loved ones. We are not happy about this issue. The governor of Benue State, Reverend Father Dr. Heighten, is not happy about this issue at all. And he is doing his own possible best to make sure that this does not repeat itself. Nobody on earth will ever say that where 59 lives are lost, people will be happy. We are not happy about this issue. So nobody should try to exaggerate what is happening in the state. We are aware of that we have security challenges here. And the governor and the whole members of cabinet here are trying to do their best in order to bring the situation to an end by collaborating with all the security agencies and even people at the higher authorities at the federal level. And so for anybody to say that the governor is folding his hands, not doing anything, it's a lie. You know, the security architecture of Benue State, as I earlier said, the governor has to provide an enabling environment for them to work. And he has done that. Provide all the logistics they need. And he has been doing that. They take orders from their superiors at the federal level. And we believe that the frequent visit of their superiors in the state here shows that they are ever willing to collaborate with the state government here to curb the menace. And since this one is still continuing, we are still pleading with them to do more as a government, and the governor of the state is pleading with everybody to put hands on deck in order to bring this situation to an end. Thank you very much.
About the governor trying to do more and no one is folding their arms. Now, I want to ask, since all of these troubled issues that happened in Benue State, has the governor visited these particular local governments to sympathize with the people and also express his condolence to the families that were involved in the death toll that has happened in Benue State?
Yes, the governor has done that. The governor has done that. He has always visited the affected areas and sympathized with the families. In the Yelwata, which happened recently, the deputy governor of the state, Honorable Barrister Sam Ode MNI, was in that place the following morning. to sympathize with the people where the governor was indisposed on a very serious assignment, but not more than this one. So the essence of having a deputy governor is to represent you where necessary. And he sent the deputy governor to go and represent him at that level and then sympathize with these people. And that is how he has been doing that in all the local governments that are affected by this insecurity. Thank you.
I want to ask a question. You talked about the fact that the governor is trying his best to collaborate with security agencies. Do we have security presence in all the affected local governments in Benue State? That is one. You also talked about the fact that it was because of the escalation of the governor that the chief of army staff came to Makurdi. Now the chief of army staff coming to Benue State, and this situation is escalating the more, especially the incident that happened in Yelwata. What does that speak to Nigerians, having all of this apparatus, all of these persons on ground, and we are having this situation escalate?
It's all right. Yes, I would say yes. We have a security presence in all these areas, in these local governments. And that was why at first I said the security agencies are supposed to tell us whether the personnel that are sent in those areas are not enough. And if they are not enough, then the governor will now demand for more, which he has always been doing. And so for us to say that there are no security personnel in those areas, no, they are. But perhaps maybe they are not enough. That is why all this the situation is still escalating. And for the chief of staff to visit Benue State and then a few days after an incident like this occurred, I would say that, well, it doesn't speak well to Nigerians, but he has come here and his own disposition shows that he is ever willing to collaborate with the state government to provide enough security and personnel in Benue State. And so anything that has to happen may happen. This one has happened at all. I earlier said we don't have to play a blame game here. We don't have to blame the chief of army staff. We don't have to blame anybody. But starting from today, we will be looking for a way forward so that this thing does not repeat itself again. And so we cannot say that because the chief of staff visited Benue State and then it is because of that this thing has happened. No, the chief of staff, the chief of army staff has come here in good faith to support the state government. And so whatever people say here, we will not go on propaganda, but we look at the reality on ground about this situation. And that is why I said every hand must be put on deck in order to bring all possible solutions to solve this issue. Thank you very much.
Now, let me ask you one more question. There was a protest, like you said, and the people were protesting because of the incident, and there were security presence, Air Force flying the helicopter, and of course armor tanks around. That protest went on. Now, were there arrests made after that protest? If there were arrests made, why was that arrest made when people are protesting peacefully because of an incident that is an eyesore for a state such as Benue State?
Hello?
Can you hear me, Honorable Commissioner?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
All right. I was trying to ask a question. There was a protest, like you said, and there were presence of military officers, security operatives with armor tanks and helicopters, which originally should be used at these affected areas and probably not for protesters, peaceful protesters. That's by the way. Now, were there arrests made as a result of that protest, if there were arrests made, tell us the reason why those people were arrested protesting peacefully.
Yeah, thank you very much. You see, in every protest, there are some disgruntled elements that will come in with a different emotions. And so all these security gadgets that you are talking about here, we are brought there just to ensure that the situation doesn't escalate. It wasn't for harming the people that we are protesting. They were being guided by the security personnel. Nobody stopped them from protesting. There were very few arrests made, but all those people are released. And so the government does not have any bad feeling about the protest that took place yesterday. It was just a show of, let me say, a show of solidarity with the government to do more. That is how the people were protesting. But the security made sure, personnel make sure that they brought those gadgets so that the situation doesn't escalate. It was not meant for harming the people that were protesting. And so, as you can see, no gunshot was heard in those places. The police, the military, and all these people were there, but they were just guiding them so that the protest is very peaceful. So that is what happened in that.
Honorable Commissioner, that's taken.
Thank
then
you.
You said arrests were made. We would like to know, even though they've been released, we would like to know why those arrests were made. Then another question that I want to ask is about this incident that has happened and keep happening. Is there anything being done about vigilante in Benue State? Because no matter the security presence from other parts of the country, the people, the vigilantes who are members of the community know the community more. Is there any vigilante on ground collaborating with the security operatives?
Yes, there are. The governor recently launched a security outfit known as Civil Protection Guard, tagged Anyamyo. Anyamyo is a security outfit that is put in place by the governor to complement the efforts of the conventional security. And they are indigenes of the state. And they have been posted to the local government in order to help the conventional security in identifying the criminals that are around. And so they have also been working. But this thing keeps on happening. It keeps happening. And so we are supposed to, the government on each part is supposed to put more efforts, as I earlier said, which the governor is ever willing and he has been doing. And so if the situation keeps happening, it means if there is an interior motive which the governor doesn't know or every other person doesn't know, then that one is a different thing. But I feel that the Fulani marauders are coming to this state. The governor keeps saying that it is an agenda of land grabbing. And so that is why you can hear that they will strike in this local government. If you think they are doing this, next time you hear from this local government, next time you hear from this local government. And so it is an agenda. I feel it is an agenda that has been nurtured for quite a long time, that has started coming up now. But anyway, the government will always be on top of the situation to make sure that this issue is put to rest. Because we cannot be accusing a particular tribe of doing this, because the Fulani herders, maybe they are trying to find a place for their cattle to graze. But then we are agrarian state. We cannot give them our land so that they graze, and then we will fold our arms and then begin to look at them. Where can we get food to eat? Where can we get food to eat if they take over our land? And so this issue is not a blame game. We are trying our best as a government to make sure that we put an end to the crisis. But then serious negotiations have to be done at the higher authorities. Maybe as we don't have to use kinetic approach, we are using both kinetic approach and non-kinetic approach, which the governor is usually doing by having a round-table discussion with the higher authorities. You see, Benue State is bound with Taraba and Nasarawa State. By the other side, Kogi. You see, this thing is not coming from Kogi. It's not coming from, and it's coming only from Taraba and Nasarawa State. This is a situation I would say that I'm not blaming anybody, but in the state here, we don't have Fulanis that are settling in the state here. They come in as visitors. In those days, they come in as visitors, and then if they get a small place of land, they graze and then go back. But this time around, they are not actually coming for the grazing activities, but they are coming to attack and then move people away from those places and then settle. They are not coming there with the aim of going back to their places again. And so this thing is worrying. And so if we are driven away from affected, there will be food scarcity, and then everybody will now enter into hunger. So the marauders too should understand that the land in Benue State belongs to Benue people. If they come in peace, I think the Benue people will allow them. But coming forcefully to drive people away from the state and then take over the land, I think that one is unacceptable. Thank you very much.
Ongoing in Benue State. I would like to know, what is the fate of the internally displaced persons living in Benue State at the moment?
Yeah, the internally displaced people are living in IDP camps. They are living in IDP camps, and the governor of the state is taking good care of them, with the aim that at the end of it all, they will go back to their ancestral lands. The international organizations too are coming in with their own aid, which the governor has provided an enabling environment for them to also work. And his governor is also collaborating with them so that they will have a free atmosphere in Benue State so that they can come and then interact with the IDPs, give them the support they have to give, and then go back to their places. And that is exactly what is happening here. Those people are not complaining, and their condition of living is at least better now, since the governor has come on board. Father Alia has come on board as the governor of the state.
Honorable Commissioner, let me come in at this point. I'm going to ask you, our time is running out now, so I'm going to ask you two questions in one. You can just wrap it up in 3 minutes. First of all, we want to know what happened to the anti-open grazing law that existed in Benue State in the last administration. Then, apart from the attacks that we are having in your own local government, Zakibiam, Ukun local government, you had a kidnap case yourself, all right, that held you in captivity for 10 days, as the case may be. Is anything being done about kidnap activities in Benue State? These are two questions now.
Okay, thank you very much. About the anti-open grazing law, the law is still in place. The law is still in place. Nobody has put aside the open grazing law. And the state government is enforcing that law too. And that is why you can see that anytime Fulani herders enter into somebody's farm, they are arrested and they are prosecuted. But the trend now is different. Nobody is taking their own cows. It's only prosecution that we are doing with them. And so once there is an erring Fulani man that has entered into somebody's farm and is arrested, then we bring the person to the court and the court will prosecute the person. And that is to say that the open grazing law is still in place. And then about the criminal activities that are happening in Benue State, I say that this issue, together with the herders, is going synonymous. The bandits are operating on the one side, Fulani herders are on the other side. And so the banditry activities in the state government is doing everything possible to put it to rest. I am a victim of that when I was kidnapped in my own hometown in Zakiba. And I stayed in captivity for 10 days, as you have earlier said. But if you go to that place now, the situation is better. The situation is quite better now by the efforts of the government of Father Heighten Yomamalia. You hardly hear the case of kidnapping there. For more than 2 months now, we have never heard about a kidnapping case in the Sankra axis, because the governor has decided that, okay, this kinetic approach is not working. So let us put together the non-kinetic and the kinetic approach too. The non-kinetic approach is engaging people in dialogue. First of all, he brought in the Bishop of Katsina Diocese, Bishop Isaac Dugu, to lead the crusade. And the bishop did very well, such that he engaged all the communities, the traditional rulers, the opinion leaders, and bandits. They engaged them in dialogue. And so you come down to a very minimal level.
Honorable Commissioner,
I cannot say that.
Unfortunately, our time is not on our side, Honorable Commissioner. We want to appreciate you for making out time to join us on Global Morning today, bringing us update from the crisis in Benue State.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We will keep tab. We'll contact you again when there is need for more updates. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Like we've heard from the Honorable Commissioner for Information. Going on between the governor and security agencies, but not people at the House of Assembly and the House of Representatives, as the case may be, meaning what Senator Abamoru said is not far from the truth. But as it is right now, I think what Nigerians, especially the people of Benue State, are actually waiting for and expectant of is how this situation can be quenched completely. Because if the security presence is not enough, there is need to intensify security operations.
Very true.
And the vigilante group needs to be equipped, needs to at least get the necessary gadgets that they need to work effectively.
Very true.
Everything that he has said, he was a victim himself. He was kidnapped in his own local government, all right, Ukum. He was kidnapped and he spent 10 days in captivity until he gained his freedom. So this thing could be anyone at any time.
Yes.
And that's the reason we need to take this situation serious. Lives have been lost already. I want to say the soul of the faithful departed, the victims, rest in perfect peace.
Very important. And like we said, we're all clamoring for peace and stability in Benue State. And of course, Benue State is the food basket of the nation, where so many foods come in. And so we know
is where we have, I think, should I say the best yam?
The best
yams, you see a trailer load of yams leaving Zaki Biam with yams. But all these things don't happen anymore.
Because of the insecurity at hand in Benue State. But we wish all the people of Benue State, condolences go to the families that have actually lost their loved ones in this very gruesome menace that is ongoing. And we pray for peace and stability in Benue State. And at this point, we have to wrap it up on Global Morning. Thank you all so much for being a part of the program with us today. And just keep watching Global Television. And up next is the Sports Desk. I am Jumai Manson, and my co-host,
I am Ramsey Enoch Abo. Many thanks for staying with us on Global Morning today.
Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.